mighty fallen.
Aye, you're right. A few more bombs about these parts wouldn't do any harm, I reckon.
Did you see her round green hat?
And a funny face.
That's right. You can't miss him.
He'll have got rid of that hat.
Never ought to have bought it.
You'll be informed if you want it.
They're combing all the bus routes, but nobody answering to his description has been seen.
See, all trains leaving the city are stopped and searched. On no account must a criminal of that type be allowed to escape.
From outraging Burchester paper, read all about it. From outraging Burchester paper, read all about it. From outraging Burchester paper. From outraging Burchester paper.
That's what comes of all this free and easy stuff. Should have stopped any Tom, Dick and Harry coming into the country long ago. Now we've got to pay for it.
You're right. In my way of thinking, you'll not find him on a train. I know what they're like. Ruddy foreigners. Most of them stick at nothing.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
What do you do here?
When it comes to that, what are you doing here?
I hide from police.
Yeah, I hide from police too.
So?
Yeah, so? Why are you hiding from the police?
A fair question, my friend. My name is Professor Ernst Kronach. I am a Czech from Prague. You know why some of us had to leave our country. And now I am waiting for the permission to join my son in America.
Well, you don't expect to find it here, do you?
My permit to stay in England has expired. There is some trouble about my passports and visas. In fact, it seems that the only place I'm really entitled to be in is a concentration camp.
Sounds a bit fishy to me.
Hmm?
Fishy. Don't make sense.
Does anything make sense today, my friend? Why, for instance, should you, any more than me, be hiding on a train? You do not appear a criminal type.
No, least criminal type in the world. Well, just a little accident, that's all. Why, I've just blown old Alderman Sir Benjamin Stick in the mud off his perch in Burchester.
So, you are perhaps an anarchist, then? I did not know that in England...
Oh, listen, Professor, you got it all wrong. Now, just listen to me and I'll tell you exactly what happened. Oh, just lately, things haven't been too good for me. So I was going the rounds of the agents in Burchester looking for a job. I'm in the music hall business, see? You know, comedian, comic. Is that a swelling you got on your face there?
It's a gum boil.
Oh.
Hurts like hell. Didn't get a wink of sleep all night.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Well, now, I've heard of you, of course.
Well, of course, top of the bill at the old Argyle, eh?
Yes, about when I was still at school. I'd have been asked, I'd have said you was embedded.
Yes, steady. I've been in work all the time. Only just finished at Warrington in Warmer and Merrier. Yeah, Warmer and Merrier. Had the makings of a good little show, only the management didn't know enough.
The only report we had said it was terrible.
Well, bad management, bad booking, you know what it is. Sorry.
We want slap-up-to-date acts. Radio turns.
Radio.
You've never been on the air, have you?
No. I like my public to see me.
What's that? He wants what? He said, Dad, he likes his public to see him.
What public?
Any public.
Well, I don't catch on to all this, Fred. But if he wants an audition, he can have one. It'll help pass the morning. Comedian, eh?
Yeah, comedian, that's right. Funny man. Make you laugh.
Come on into this other room, then, and make us laugh. Eh, Fred?
Come on, then. This way, Mr. What's-it.
Tiverton. Timmy Tiverton's the name.
Yeah, if you want a pianist, you'll have to wait till this afternoon.
Well, of course, you're not seeing the act under the best conditions, you know.
Ah, that's all right. We're used to it.
We've had some of the best here. Make us laugh.
Now, my missus once moved into society. She didn't move far because, you see, she said she was over-handicapped, and the handicap was me. Yes, of course, it would go better with a piano, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll go straight into the patter. Now, that's bound to make you laugh. You don't know my wife, do you? Very fond of pets. I suppose that's why she married me. I'll never forget the time she came back with a big bird cage. Oh, look what I got, she says. Well, Morale, I said, what have you got? She says, it's a parrot. Now, this is a very funny gag.
Yeah. Is it one about the parrot that didn't like the cheese?
Yes, that's right.
We know it, Dad.
Well, it always gets a very big laugh the way I tell it.
It's about the parrot didn't like the cheese. I'm telling him, we know it.
Quite right. Doesn't seem to have much about him, this chap, does he?
Well, then there's my brother. Now, there's a man. Oh, what a man. I'll never forget the time he got married. We all started off in the morning.
I told your mother to stop in bed today. I told her she didn't rest properly with her legs in that state again. She'd have another fortnight of it. And a nurse into the bargain.
Good morning.
What did you say?
I said good morning. You don't want a comic, you want a clinic. I soon found out it was no good stopping at Birchester. Nobody seemed to want me. So I decided to move on as quickly as I could.
Give us a match, Chum. Can you imagine anything worse than having to wait 2 hours for a train?
Yes, lots of things.
Well, thanks, Chum. I hope things brighten up for you.
They ain't look like it, though.
Now, you sit there and don't move while I go and get the tickets. Keep an eye on him, will you, mate? Now, mind what I say.
Hey, you have got a funny face.
Yes, I know that. You pop off. Your mother wants you.
She's poorly. My Uncle Alfred brought me here. He's gone for the tickets. He's over there, look.
I don't want to look at your Uncle Alfred. Tell him to come and take you away.
What's in your bag?
What to do with you?
Oh, no, it's your alarm clock. Uncle has one.
Oh, never mind about your uncle.
I can hear it ticking.
It's not my bag. It's like my bag, but it's not mine. It's... Professor, you're the only friend I've got in the world at the moment.
That is a great responsibility. So you are a comic.
Yes, that's right.
The comic has its place beside the beautiful and the sublime. It depends upon a balance between the conscious feeling of superiority and the deep feeling of inferiority in the unconscious. In essence, the comic is spiritual.
You know, I could listen to you for hours. But to be quite honest, I haven't got enough doing in the top story to know what the hell you're talking about.
I see in the future.
Yeah, now, never mind about the future. Let's think about the present. If we stop here till they get to a big station, we'll be nabbed as sure as eggs is eggs.
As what?
Eggs is eggs.
Eggs is eggs. Now, that is something I have not heard before. Tell me, please, is this eggs is eggs some old Celtic or Iberian deity?
No, just eggs. Now, the next little station, out we pop, and then we can decide what to do later, eh?
Mr. Tiverton, Timmy, I follow you, and everything will be as easy as, eggs is eggs.
Porter's down the other end. He'll be along in a minute to take the tickets.
Did you come off the train?
That's right.
Oh, you didn't get out of here on purpose, did you?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'll have to take your tickets, won't I? Nay, nay. You ought to have gone straight on. You made a proper mess of this, you know.
Well, we changed our minds. Tell me, where is this place?
This? Last place God made. No use anybody coming here.
Tell me, please. You know the name Denbury Baxter, the manor, Chilham Moss. It is not far from Castle Claydon.
Oh, well, now you're talking. Castle Clayton. It's up that way.
Then that is where we shall go to present my letter to Denbury Baxter, the manor, Chilham Moss. Schubert octet in F major. He is playing the first violin part in the third movement. He is playing it very badly.
Damn your eyes, boys. You play too fast for me.
Excuse me, please.
What's that?
We have been ringing for some time.
Come in, come in. You've been ringing, eh? Well, Ketley's about somewhere. Ketley's my man.
Mr. Denbury Baxter?
Sir George Denbury Baxter, as a matter of fact. Pleased to see you. Rum-looking pair, if you don't mind my saying so. But pleased to see you. Have a drink.
Rum?
Yeah, you and me.
I have a letter.
Never mind letters. Much too late in the day for letters. Here. Let me get a toast. What about Schubert?
Schubert?
Schubert.
Schubert.
I thought you were playing the third movement too quickly.
By thunder, you're right. Absolutely running away with it. But they take everything at a devil of a pace nowadays. I can't keep up with them. Sit down. Now, I wonder why that scoundrel Ketley kept you waiting at the front door so long. If he's out wenching again, I'll rip the coat off his back. I'll soon see if he's in. He's in. I always make him carry it around at night just to prove he hasn't slipped out. Are you a musician?
In a small amateur way. Perhaps I should introduce myself. I am Professor Ernst Kronak of Prague.
Timmy Tiverton's my name.
You. I've seen you before somewhere. I never forget a face. Yellow, brown, or black. Used to surprise them in the East. But I'll think of it later. You see if I don't. You play the fiddle?
No, I play the piano. Or I did in happier days.
Good. We'll have a bit of music. Try out a bit of Mozart.
I beg your pardon, sir?
I should think so. What do you mean by marching in here just as we're enjoying ourselves? Here we are, miles and miles away from anywhere, just settling down to a bit of Mozart when in walks the police force.
But, sir, I was...
Don't interrupt me! I'm Sir George Denbury Baxter. I've governed islands and peninsulas. I've walked for miles and miles up and down the ranks of soldiers and police. White, yellow, blue, and black. I don't want police sergeants. I want Mozart! Have a drink.
Well, sir, I'm on duty, you know, sir.
Well, if you're on duty, don't come in here. There's no duty that brings you to a gentleman's private house. So either come off duty and have a drink, or stay on duty and clear out.
A few minutes ago, sir, seeing the house all dark from the lane, I heard a very loud noise, sir, which might have been a kind of signal.
Yes, it was a gong. If hit correctly, it could be heard for 3 miles.
Quite so, sir. But as we've had word there are some very suspicious characters about, I thought it was my duty to come and tell you...
Suspicious characters. Suspicious characters befoot. I don't believe in your suspicious characters. Is he a suspicious character? Is he a suspicious character? Am I a suspicious character?
Well, not exactly, sir.
That's where you're wrong. I am a suspicious character. I've always been a suspicious character. If you knew what was going on up here, you'd have me handcuffed in no time. Have a drink.
Thank you, sir. It's this spy business, sir. All over the place they are. One of them blew up a statue this afternoon at Birchester.
Good for him. If I had my way, I'd blow up the whole of Birchester. Damned awful place. Blow it up! Blow them all up!
So you see, sir, hearing the noise, the gong, I mean, sir, I wondered what was going on here.
What's going on here is music, so finish your drink and pop off.
Certainly, sir.
I've seen you before, too, somewhere. You're not wanted by the police, are you?
Me? Certainly not. Why should I be?
No, why should you be? I can see by your face you don't want him Mozart, do you?
No.
No. Well, you better go find Ketley. Tell him you're both staying the night. Tell him to make some sandwiches. Ham. Lots of mustard on them. You'll find a torch over there. Down the stairs to the right.
Yeah.
Now, Professor, some music.
What do you want? Well, did he send you?
Yes. He says we're staying the night. There's 2 of us. And will you bring some sandwiches? Ham and plenty of mustard.
There isn't any ham. He's left to be tongue. Tongue. I suppose the governor's good and bottled, isn't he?
I suppose he is, really. I've had a couple of quick ones myself.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, I thought at first he was balmy.
He is balmy.
Go on.
Yeah, Sunstroke started it. No lifting the elbow. Who's that with you?
Well, he's a foreign sort of a fella, and his son's wife is a very old friend of Mr. Denbury Baxter's.
Yeah.
And gave him a letter of introduction, if you see what I mean.
Not so sure that I do. There's one thing I am sure of, it's this. He isn't the governor.
Huh?
He's Sir George. It's his nephew you want to see. He's in East Africa. He owns this house. If I was you, I'd op it tonight.
As a matter of fact, I didn't want to come here at all. But it's a bit late now, and they look like settling down for a musical evening.
Ah, you wait till the morning.
Well, what's going to happen tomorrow morning?
Ah, never mind. You'll find out soon enough.
Ah, delightful, Professor. You've played beautifully. You must stay with me for months. Ah, there you are. Music always gives me an appetite. This isn't ham, you blockhead. I said ham.
That's right, Governor. There isn't any ham. You'll have to have tongue.
Yeah. I've seen you before.
Of course you have. You sent him along to me for the sandwiches.
Not tonight, you blithering idiot. Years and years ago. I got it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. On the halls.
That's right. Timmy Tiverton, comedian.
I knew I'd get you. Timmy Tiverton, eh? Good man. You used to sing that song, You Can't Give Father Any Shrimps.
Cockles.
What?
Cockles.
One of these days I shall throw you right through the window. Don't be so damned impertinent. Although I think you're right.
Of course he is. That used to be one of my numbers. You can't give father any cockles.
And you can't give mother any gin. Professor, this is where you come in. See if you can play You Can't Give Father Any Cockles.
Oh, I do not know this cockles.
Now, don't be awkward. Play.
Come on. I'll hum it over to you. And Sir George will help us out with a fiddle, eh? Now, 6/8 time. Oh, you can't give father any cockles, 'cause he can't eat cockles anymore. No, you can't give father any cockles, 'cause he don't like cockles anymore. Poor old Dad, why, he's getting quite thin. Got no use for his little bent pin. No, you can't give father any cockles, 'cause he don't like cockles anymore. Oh, I love a lovely roly-poly. It's lovely for your dinner or your tea. Oh, I love a lovely roly-poly. I love a roly-poly recipe. Roly-poly is a darn good feed. Roly-poly makes a bulldog breed. Oh, I love a lovely roly-poly, like the missus always makes for me.
Gentlemen, it is my custom on these felicitous...
Your bottle, Governor.
Nevertheless, I welcome you under the ancient roof of the Denbury Baxter family. A family that, with a solitary exception myself, have left no mark on our national history whatsoever. We have here a philosopher, a musician. I speak of our friend, Dr. Krunebacher of Vienna.
Professor Kronak of Prague.
Don't argue, Doctor. It's getting us nowhere at all. And here we have Tommy Tupperton, late of the Oxford, Empire and Middlesex music halls. And to celebrate this occasion, though I hope we shall be together for many weeks to come.
Yeah.
I'm going to present you the bronze elephant of very fine workmanship and design. Professor Krunebacher, your elephant. Tommy Tupperton, your elephant. You've got an elephant. Welcome to the manor.
I do not understand.
You will if you don't, Harry. I told you what he was like. There'll be murder if you don't get out of here. He's already been shouting for coffee. Now, please.
You got him all wrong.
I've had him for 20 years, and if I don't know what he's like, there's no good...
Yes, but it is all a matter of approach. I shall say to him, Sir George.
What is all this? What do you think this place is? Ketley tells me that one of you have a letter for me.
I have a letter.
Oh, come on, let's have it.
It is from my son's wife.
This is addressed to my nephew in South Africa. That's no good to me.
But, Sir George, what have we done? Why, last night...
Last night? It isn't last night, it's this morning. Shut up. Coming in here in the middle of the night.
Ah, but it wasn't in the middle of the night.
Shut up! Ketley, get rid of these fellas. I've got other business to attend to.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Never have I been treated in this way before. This man is a Democrat in the evening and a Nazi in the morning.
Well, as I told you, he's balmy when he's bottled. But it's a fine, free and easy balminess. But the next morning, well, you just seen a bit of it.
Yes, but he's staying for weeks and his brass elephants. Well, he knows what he can do with them. Come on, Prof. This might be something. I'll have a word with them. You stop here a minute. Good afternoon. Ooh, what a lovely smell of sausages.
I'm sorry, Rick.
It's all right, some other time. Have you seen any blue bottles about here?
Plenty. It's the season for them.
No, I mean cops, policemen.
Are they after you?
I'm afraid they are. Mistake, of course. I never did nobody any harm, and I'm sure the professor never has.
Professor? What professor?
He's hiding in the wood there. He's a foreign-looking fellow, and he's so tall he's as difficult to hide as a giraffe. He's one of these exiles, and as nice a fellow as you could wish to meet, even though he does like to lecture you.
I'm trying to think who you remind me of. A comedian who was a star one time. I've got it. Timmy Titlums. No, Timmy...
Tiverton?
Timmy Tiverton. Why, you're almost his double. I expect you've been told that many times, eh?
No, I haven't.
Oh, don't be silly, Uncle. It's the same man. It's written all over him.
Ah, clever girl. Clever girl.
Timmy Tiverton. Why, it must be 20 years since
Why must it always be 20 years since anybody last saw me?
Look out.
Have you seen two men, one tall and one short?
No, I haven't.
Oh, just a minute, Uncle. Was the little short man wearing a grey suit and a bow tie?
That's right.
Oh, well, then I saw them. They passed us in an open car, making for Bowden.
Thanks.
Good. It's wonderful what a pretty girl can get away with. Thank you.
Thank you.
You listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to Tetchworth to pick up a couple who are going to work for me. I'll take you as far as that inside the van. That'll get you out of the district nicely. Now hop along and get your professor before any more cops turn up.
Prof!
We'll keep them under cover until we get near Dunbury. They should be all right then.
Mr. Hassock said it'd be best if you keep in the van till we get to Dunbury.
Oh, this is very good of you, young lady, and of Mr. Hassock's. You know, I've often wondered in my study of other nations how it comes about that in this country...
Never mind about that, Prof. Get on with this sandwich. Might be a long time before we get another.
Those blithering pans which aren't coming. Sent a telegram, a professional engagement. More damn trouble over bits of comic singers and pianists than all the rest of the profession put together.
Yeah. What's he want comic singers for? He don't run a show, does he?
Yes, a kind of a show. That's why I'm here.
Oh.
He auctions things and gets people in and keeps them amused by running a little free show.
Well, what about me and the professor?
Me?
Leave it to me. I'm your agent now. I'm an old pro, better than anything he's likely to pick up. And the professor can play the piano.
Can he really?
Can he? Not half he can't. He'd play anything. Classical player. Training for the rough stuff.
Rough stuff?
Well, how about it? We'll help you out.
Well, it all seems a bit daft. Then most things are daft nowadays. Am I in
Yes.
game? £3 a week and commission if we do well. All evening work.
You please explain.
Don't take no notice. We've clicked. You're a pro now. Besides, it'll keep us going till things quieten down. Where do we open?
Dunbury.
Dunbury. First stop, Dunbury. Mind your step, Prof. Come on. Oopsie daisy.
Well, here we are, and they know we are coming.
Oh.
There's no time to lose. I always fix my people with Mrs. Mitterleaf, Pike Street. Not a bad old sort once you get used to her. Straight down there, number 7, see? Now, hurry up.
We'll be as right as rain, eh, Prof?
That I have considerable doubts.
Now, you leave everything to me. We'll be back, Mr. Essex, to help you unpack and get ready for the show. Oh, it'll be like old times. Come on, Prof. 7, here we are. Well, they say change is good for everyone, Prof. You'd never have thought that last night we'd be with Sir George and tonight with Mrs. Good Evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Essex fixed us up with some rooms here, I believe.
A married couple, the letter said.
Now, it's been a switch over. We've taken their place.
Oh, I see. Well, you'd better come in.
After you, Prof.
Well, I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit awkward, you see. I'd fixed a double bed in the front room. Fern, as my daughter and me, we'll have to go in the front room, and you gentlemen have to have the 2 back rooms.
We are greatly indebted to you for your consideration, madam. Though it is only in keeping with my experience of the hospitality of your country. Do you know?
Perhaps we'd better settle in first. We've got a lot to do.
Well, while I'm sorting out the rooms, hadn't you better come into the sitting room?
No, I got a better idea. We'll go back and give Mr. Essex a hand, then we won't be in your way, and when we come back, we'll be ready for a good supper. The pro's best meal of the day, eh? How's that, Mom?
I'm sure it's very thoughtful of you. And I'll have everything ready for you by the time you come back.
It's your dear.
You're back quick.
Yes, we've arranged with Ma to have a bit of grub later on. Where's Mr. Essex?
Oh, he's gone to the garage. If you ask me, he's having a drink with Tom Largs. They're old friends.
Beginning to look nice, isn't it? Piano, too.
I've got the stool for it out there. I'm coming to work here, you know. Handover's the name. I'll go and get the stool.
That's one of the local men Uncle Fred engaged to help us. He's a bit odd, isn't he?
Odd, you could take it from me. He's balmy. It's the second one. It works.
Now, don't stand about there. Must get things ship-shape tonight. This is Tom Largs. He runs the local band, amongst other things.
How do you do? How do you do?
Have you looked at that music? Have you tried the piano yet, Professor?
Oh, I was about to when Mr. Candover raised the matter of the piano stool.
Well, let's see how you're shaped. Come on, come on.
Let's try this one, Prof.
Believe me, it's true. Just remember, please remember what I'm telling you. Send for me. Don't be afraid, dear. Anytime, any place you may be. Send for me when all your cares surround you. And I'll put my loving arms around you. Send for me.
It's only the first time they've tried it.
No, I don't mean that. I mean none of you do it.
What's wrong with it? Go away. Can't you see we're trying to rehearse?
Yes, but it's no use.
Well, of all the cheek.
Now, look here, young fella, my lad. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it, see? Pop off.
I won't pop off. I've been sent here to tell you that you can't sing and play in this building.
Now, before I come down and...
It's young Orton. He's clerk of the council offices. It follows that this left-hand bolt of the Dunbury town over there, but this chap hasn't done much.
Good heavens, I've been one of the Dunbury Harriers for 2 years.
Here, what have I done to deserve this? Clear out, will you? I've rented this hall for 2 weeks. They know all about it at your office.
Yes, well, the office sent me here. Your agreement says you can run an entertainment so long as the building is licensed for one. Well, now it isn't licensed for one.
Now, look here.
Well, steady, Uncle.
Leave this to me, girl. I've handled these red tape merchants before. Now, what are you trying to tell me?
The license for this small hall is covered by the license for the big market hall upstairs. There's only one entertainment license for the whole building.
That's all right. They have concerts up there.
Ah, yes, they did. But the council hasn't renewed the license for the big hall upstairs, so this room isn't licensed either. And so you can't do any singing or playing down here.
Oh, no, you don't. You go back and tell them.
That's just what I was trying to tell you. There's more in this than meets the eye, Mr. Hassett. It's the people behind the council you've got to watch. There's Lady Foxfield and her lot. They want big hall for museum. And United Plastics, that's the firm that owns the big factories as you come into town, they want it for offices and showrooms. That hall was given to the people of Dunbury, and they don't seem to be getting a look in. Proper scheming going on. And I can't make the council see it.
I don't care what to do to the council. I know what they can't do to me. I've got an agreement and...
This is the duplicate. There's a clause which says this room must be licensed.
I know. Stop wagging that damn thing. But they said it would be licensed because it has been for 50 years, 100 years, thousands and thousands of years. They can't bring me here like that and then say it isn't. Don't you worry, you people. Some of these town councils are always trying on these little games. But they don't come off with me. I've been doing this too long. Now listen. They can't do it, I tell you. They can't do it.
Well, it doesn't look like opening tomorrow with him in hospital. You know, these people, whoever they are, have done the dirty on him. And us too, for a matter of that.
I do not understand it. Big business want the hall for their showrooms and offices, no doubt to make more money. The ladies and gentlemen would like to have a museum, that people may come and see how important they have been in the past. But what of the people who were given this fine hall for their music and enjoyment? Have they no say in the matter? And if not, where is the democracy?
Well, I don't know anything about democracy because I never bothered with politics. You don't in this profession, you know. But it seems to me that if these people haven't got enough guts in them to hang on to this hall of theirs, they deserve to lose it.
My friend, never say you do not know about politics. You have arrived at the heart of this and many other matters. What we will not trouble to keep, that we deserve to lose.
Well, now, my name's Dr. Bucky. I've been over your friend, or whatever he is, and all I can find is a couple of fractures. Some muscular trouble, and that's all, so far. He's had a bit of pain, quite a bit of pain, but there's nothing to worry about. He's been fussing about some business that brought him here. Something Sister said about singing in the market hall.
We were going to, but now they say they won't let us.
You better go up and see him. Here, you. Take this lady up to Sister Watson. She's to see the case that came in last night. Go along with nurse. No, I'm all in favor of anything that'll put life into the people here. No guts. I like guts. Can't get on without them. I've only been here 6 months, and already I've had a fight with practically everybody in the whole place.
I'm not surprised.
What's that?
Nothing. No.
Money grabbers one end of the town, snobs at the other, and a whole lot of half-wits in between. That's Dunbury. Perhaps that's England, but I hope not. What? You're not English. German?
No. I am a Czech, but no one here is supposed to know. So will you please?
That's all right with me. Did you ever know Professor Colin?
But yes, for years he was my colleague and my friend.
What an extraordinary thing. I worked under him for 6 months. I thought I was going to specialize then, but the money ran out. I'll do it yet, though. Well, that's splendid. Well, he's all the better for seeing you, I expect.
Oh, I hope so.
What do we do, eh?
He wants us to carry on. Says they've done the dirty on him and he won't have it.
That's the spirit.
Here.
It's not just the business, he says. It's the principle of the thing. Fight him, he says.
If only we can keep the thing going. What it is, I am not sure, but it will be good for our business when he is better.
Of course.
He said you two will have to be very careful. The police may be called in.
Oh, we can look after ourselves.
Mr. Hassett was particular that I should tell you that he would understand if you wanted to go.
Go?
They don't want to go. They're going to stay and blow the place up. Oh, but I shall have to go. Well, I'll do my best to have poor Haddock back with you. And in the meantime, is there anything I can do to help? Well, I can't say better than that, can I? Well, goodbye.
She's like a tonic, isn't she? How is he really, eh?
Oh, not so well. But nothing would do him more good than to know they weren't able to close him up. Oh, are you really game?
Of course we're game. I haven't felt so good for years.
It's all very exciting. Uncle says give the stuff away if necessary. He's arranged everything. Tom Largs and a few of the local band will be there. And if we can't liven up Dunbury, then we're not so good.
Rolling, it's a down good tree. Rolling, it's a London tree.
The bulldog breed. Here.
I've seen him. You two be ready to clear out. Now, don't risk anything. Better go one at a time.
Now, listen. You people were told last night that you couldn't give an entertainment in this hall.
A young man came here last night and muttered something about it, but we didn't take any notice of him because my uncle had rented the hall, and it was understood he could use it for entertaining the people of Dunbury.
I knew the people of Dunbury wouldn't go back on their word. Let's have another chorus, eh? Come on, boys. Oh, I love a lovely rolling.
Now, quick. You know where we'll meet.
Now, I give you all one warning. This hall is not licensed for entertainment.
You come along
and
now,
these people
Dick.
know it.
I'll wait
They're
for you.
breaking the law. And if any of you stay here after I've given you fair warning, then you're aiding and abetting. Now, I give you...
Keep quiet, will you? Why don't you do what Inspector tells you? If these people are in the wrong, you should back up police. Now get out, all of you.
Hi.
In the long run, we're there in 20 minutes.
Will there be many people there?
Oh, I don't know. It's all a car trade at the Dog and Bell.
I've heard a lot about it.
Must be making a devil of a lot of money there.
Who owns it?
Don't know. It's run by a woman called Daisy something or other. Fussy little blonde.
A young woman.
Oh, well in middle age. Used to be on the halls. Daisy...
Not Daisy Barley. I'm really very, very sorry to find you like this. It's all been a little accident. One of them things might happen to anybody. And for some reason or other, I never could understand why they're always happening to me. Now, if I was to take you up...
Just one moment.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the back of my car?
Yeah.
Well?
I'll tell you. Do you know Montmorency lives in Dunbury?
No, I do not.
I do.
Well, this is Mr. Mackenzie Montmorency.
Oh, no.
No, it must be another fellow.
Well, now, look here. What are you doing all dressed up like that?
I've just been doing a turn at the little market hall at Dunbury.
I didn't know there was anything on there.
Oh, yes, there is. At least there was. So my friend Montmorency, Mac as I call him, asked me if I'd come over and have a bit of supper with him tonight, see? And he told me that his car would be in a parking place in the square. So when I'd done my turn, I hurried out, jumped into this car, thought it was Mac's, and, well, very natural mistake after all.
You were to stay in there.
Right,
We'll see if I can find somebody to drive you back to Dunbury.
Okay.
Get rid of this fellow somehow.
He's all right. Bit of a scream, I thought.
Yes, but I didn't come here for the pleasure of taking him home.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, Bob. I want you to do something for me. There's a strange man in the car. I want you to get rid of him. He wants a lift back to Dunbury. I don't want any passengers this evening.
I understand, sir. You leave it to us. We must keep in with that fellow worth a couple of bob to us.
Sure.
What's this?
Lord, love a purple dog. The thing...
Well, either I'm going balmy or it's...
Timmy Tiverton.
That's right.
Well.
And Bob, and little Billy.
Timmy. Why, what on earth? Go and tell the boss you were tickled death about this.
Sure.
Put it here again if it weighs a ton. Why, the last time I met you was... Oh, never mind about that. Come on in.
I can't come in like this, all dressed up.
That'll be all right. Take it from me. Come on in.
Talk about surprises, eh?
If they'd have asked me who I was going to see tonight, you're the last one on earth, I should have thought.
Yeah, same here. Daisy.
Oh, my goodness, Timmy! What a thing to do to a woman. You're all dressed and made up, ready to go straight off, just like the good old days. Oh, my poor old heart is turned right upside down seeing you standing there like that. I'll have indigestion for a fortnight, that's what I'll have. Come up to the bar and have a drink.
No, not like this, Daisy.
Oh, no, perhaps you're right. Come up to my room. Tell Walter I want him.
Hello. What a place you got here, Daisy, eh?
Come on, we'll soon get you out of those clothes and put a good supper inside you. You don't know me now, Timmy. Businesswoman. That's me.
Daisy. You ought to have seen the little wet blonde that was in that car with us just now.
Don't tell me you've fallen for a messy little piece you've only just caught sight of.
No, of course not. I was just comparing you. They don't make them like you anymore, Daisy. Most of these girls now are like half-drowned kittens. But you're alive. Why, Daisy, you're wonderful.
You know, Timmy, you haven't changed a bit.
No?
The times I've thought about you. And now you turn up like this.
Yeah, I often wonder why the strangest things always seem to happen to me. But I'm glad this did.
Walter, look who's here.
Blimey. It's Timmy Tiverton.
It's right.
You remember me, Walter Shepton of the Shepton Brothers?
Remember you. Will you ever forget that night on Crew Platform, eh?
When we lost the connection. What a night.
Yeah, happy days, though.
Here, I want you to lend Timmy some clothes.
No, don't worry about clothes, Daisy, because I've got to be getting back.
Stop all this wandering about stuff. You've only just arrived.
I tell you, I've got to get back.
I never met such a rum little devil. I believe you've been up to something. Though what you could do beats me. Come on now, what's been happening?
Everything, and all because I tried my luck at Burchester. You see, Daisy, the whole thing started just because a man with a suitcase when I saw this plainclothes fellow, I had to nip off without saying a word to the others. So, you see, they'll be wondering what's become of me. Well, you never know. They might have thought I've left them in the lurch.
Well, of course you've got to go. Walter, go and tell Charles to get the small van and drive Timmy back to Dunbury.
Right.
Timmy, my darling, you've got a job to do and I wish I were coming with you. But I suppose I'll have to stay here. But don't forget, if you want any help, this is the place, and I'm your man.
Thank you, Daisy.
You know, Timmy, perhaps it wasn't just chance you coming here.
Well, what do you mean, Daisy?
Well, the last time Betty was able to speak to me, and they only let me have a couple of minutes with her, she asked me to look after you.
Betty asked you to look after me?
Well, she knew I had more gumption than I seemed to have, and you know you always wear a bit of a fool to yourself.
How do you mean?
Timmy Tiverton, with your talent, you could still be top of the...
I know, Daisy, what with the wireless and the films and...
Oh, don't say it. You just let yourself get pushed out. And I believe Betty knew that. It was all my fault, really, because I didn't keep my promise. I went to Australia for one thing, but lately I've thought such a lot about you. And here you are. Isn't it marvellous?
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Timmy, why not come and stay here for a while?
Oh, Daisy, it'd be a real rest for me to come and stay here for a time. For a long time, perhaps.
Ah, here we are. I brought this Macintosh. I thought you might like to have it.
Thank you, Walter.
Charlie's getting the car round the front.
That's the idea. Oh.
I'll come back with you if you like.
Mind your own business. Here, up, Timmy, over children beginners. Come on. Well, now, what's all this?
I thought you'd like to meet a few old friends before you went.
You remember me? Little Katie Sacker, the singer by the watermill?
Why, of course, little Katie.
And don't say you've forgotten Jimmy Flagg.
Now, Jimmy the barman. Toured for years as Gunga Din. No relation, of course. The mystic Hindu. Yeah. He's making his mistress in my cocktail bar now. What about our Sam?
Could I forget Sam? The best strongman act in the country. Well, what's happened? Where's old Gus?
Oh, forget it. We play Brighton. A widow with 3 shops takes a fancy to Gus. Gus takes a fancy to the shop. So the act's washed up. Here I am with Daisy, the best ballad anybody...
come on now.
You're right.
Get back to your work, all of you.
Well, toodaloo, everybody.
Get on with the job.
Bye-bye.
Oh, watch it.
Good evening. Mrs. Mortimer. You must bring her here sometime.
That's right, ducks, keep the party clean. That's the little wet blonde I was telling you about. Yeah.
Hi. You just keep quiet, my man. Don't know how you think you're going to get better if you keep on like this. Well, they found you all right.
Yeah.
Don't know what they thought had happened to you ringing the hospital.
Well, quite a natural thing to do.
Oh, we've heard all about him, but what are we going to do to keep the show going?
You keep quiet. I'm not worrying about your show. I've got to think of Dunbury. I hear you kept the crowd quiet the other night. What's the idea?
It was no use fighting before we were sure of our position. The people aren't alive to what's happening. They're afraid of United Plastics, and if we act on our own before the people fully understand, it might turn out different from what we hope.
But you're forgetting Lady Foxfield and her party. I've been investigating, I think that's the word. And from what I can gather, they have their plans pretty well set that the hall is to be a museum.
Blast it, sauce. Oh, if I...
Quite. But, and here I think my friend the Professor will agree with me, it's not always direct action that's the most successful. And I think I can suggest a way which is probably the oldest fifth column method of them all. At any rate, Cleopatra tried it out to very good effect. No doubt I can arrange a suitable time for this good-looking young woman, too good-looking to my idea, to call at Dunbury Hall. What a hell of a place, more like a barracks than a home. And there's no need for me to tell her what to do when she meets Sir Reginald Foxfield.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what is it, Pelham?
A young lady is asking to see you, sir. The name is Miss Allerton, on a matter of urgent business.
Miss Arlott. Don't know her, do I?
No, sir. The young lady admitted that at once.
Oh, she's probably one of those terrible young women who come around trying to sell one for the price of... Isn't she?
Rather younger than those young women, Sir Reginald, and not quite the manner. She says it's something connected with the town.
Oh, goodness.
She's a very attractive young lady, Sir Reginald, and quite young.
Well, in that case, I suppose we'd better see her, eh? Send her in here.
Miss Allerton, sir.
How do you do it? I mean, how do you do?
How do you do, Sir Reginald? Forgive me for coming, but I want you to help me.
Yes, of course, anything. I'll do anything. You do sit down, don't you? I mean, you will sit down, won't you?
Thank you. It's about the little market hall. My uncle has rented it, you see, and now they won't let him use it.
I'm sorry. Why?
Well, you've taken away the music license. My uncle sells things, sort of auctions them. But he gives people a free entertainment as well, you know.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Well, you know now, don't you?
Yes.
Now he's nearly broken his neck, and your lot have gone back on their word about the hall.
Well, really, Miss Allerton, I don't quite see what I can do about it. But I'll do anything. Absolutely anything.
All right. Then why are you trying to take the hall away from the people? It's a dirk, isn't it?
But I don't want to take it away from them. I don't care two hoots one way or another.
Then you ought to care two hoots. That's why I came to see you.
I know. And I'm jolly glad you did. But you see, I'm not really mixed up in all this. My mother is. She and her friends want to turn the place into a museum.
I know, but who wants a museum?
Well, they do, you see. I don't particularly want a museum myself. Get me down, rather, museums. Stuffy. I mean, everything is. But that's how it is. After all, the Dun people don't want the place anymore. Not very fond of music now. And band petered out and all that.
I know all about that. If you ask me, it's a racket.
Racket?
Yes, a racket. You lot here wanting a museum, and the other lot, United Jigs, wanting to bag the place for themselves. They're trying to do the people out of their rights. And we've got to make a fight for it if it's the last thing we ever do.
We?
Well, time you took some interest in things, isn't it? What do you do?
Well, I sort of look after things around here, you know. State property with what's left of them. And I play cricket.
Cricket? I think you ought to start doing something about this market hall racket.
Now, look here, Miss Allerton. I don't really think it is a racket. After all, the local people are agreed that the place is absolutely useless as it is now.
And who are these local people who matter?
Well, you know what I mean. And after all, Miss Allerton, I don't see why you can't leave the local people to manage their own affairs. If you go roaming around the countryside and you don't like the way things are here, you move on. There's no point in trying to stay and try and make everything the way you like it, is there now?
Oh, so we're to move on. Mind our own business, eh?
Oh, no,
Oh, yes, you did. In the first place, we are minding our own business. Because we've got a contract with your rotten town council.
But it isn't my rotten...
Yes, it is. You lot have it in your pocket. We have an agreement or contract or whatever it is that your town council won't keep. You think we're going to put up with it. Well, we're not, see? You try moving us on. That's all.
Luncheon is served, sir.
Oh, I say, Pelham, is my mother in?
No, Sir Reginald. Her ladyship is lunching out.
Oh, good. I mean, I didn't realize it was so late. I do hope you can stay for lunch.
All right, thanks.
Oh, splendid. Pelham, there'll be 2 of us.
Yes, Sir Reginald. I've laid for 2.
Didn't your great-great-grandfather, or whoever he was, give the people of Dumbrilla's Market Hall?
Oh, yes, rather. Jolly fond of music, that old boy. His idea was that the place would make an ideal spot for the local musician to show off him. And I believe for a time it worked jolly well. Sorry about the lunch. It was all, wasn't it?
If you don't like the food they give you, why don't you change?
That would be rather difficult. But mind you, I do complain. But nothing seems to happen.
I've got some chocolate here. Nuts and raisins. Do you like that kind?
Oh, I love nuts. And raisins. And I say, are you sure you can spare all this?
Sure.
Oh, I say, that's awfully decent of you. Do you mind if I put it in my... until... Well, what do you think of the place?
Oh, it's not bad. It's a bit dull, isn't it?
Dull? You can see 3 counties on a clear day.
3 what?
I mean, upstairs. There's a wonderful view from one of the turrets. Would you like to see it?
Yes, thanks. Oh, it's lovely up here. This is where I should like to come if I lived here.
You will come again, won't you? I mean, you come up here any time you like.
Could I really? Wouldn't anybody mind?
Mind? Good Lord. At least...
Don't worry, I won't come again.
Never?
Without an invitation.
Then I'll write one immediately and then deliver it by hand.
Thank you, kind sir. And now you're going to be sensible and decent, aren't you?
Oh, I hope so. What about?
What about? Well, what do you think? About the little market hall and everything. You're going to stick up for us and all the ordinary people here and not let anybody get away with a dirty trick.
Yes, rather.
Oh, good. Now, I think we better go because there are lots of things to attend to, you and I.
Yes, I suppose we have.
Now, come along, everyone. I thought we'd had the meeting in here. It's such a good idea of yours, Colonel, to give us lunch early.
Good Lord.
More time to discuss the whole
It's the museum.
Now,
The committee.
everyone.
Such a delightful room, Lady Foxfield. Should put us in the right atmosphere.
We all know why you're here. We've already decided that the town should have a museum. We've had estimates, and we know that it wouldn't cost very much to make the necessary alterations to the market hall to turn it into the right kind of building. Dunbury is a very ancient, historic borough. All of us here are proud of its historical association.
Yes, right.
I understand there's been some talk in the town about selling the market hall to a commercial enterprise. Oh, it's not to be thought of.
Hear, hear.
Splendid fellow! Now, has anyone any questions to ask?
I think several of us are not very clear as to the exact position at present. Have we received a definite promise from the Borough Council that when the various legal matters are settled, we shall be given the exclusive use of the market hall?
I'm very glad to have the opportunity of explaining the exact position with regard to the market hall. The property is held on trust, and the trust is of a peculiar kind. The first step, that of refusing to grant a further license to the hall, has been simple enough.
There. What did I tell you? That he's been doing some wangling.
There'd be no difficulty in getting the town to turn the hall into a museum if there were no opposition. But unfortunately, there is considerable opposition. Some members of the council, for reasons best known to themselves, wish to accept the offer that United Plastics are making for the property, and there were even a few whose political views encouraged them to make all the trouble they could and declared that the building should be kept for its original purpose.
Ridiculous. The people are no longer interested in its original purpose.
What an idiot of a woman. What's she know about the people? I'd just like to tell her, the old hag.
Now, ladies and gentlemen.
My mother.
I would like to point out that no decision of the council will be legal without a three-quarters majority. At the present moment, there's a deadlock. A complete deadlock.
Deadlock, eh? Preposterous. It's time some of these people had a sharp lesson.
There's to be another meeting of the council, and if there's still no majority and the deadlock continues, we can ask the government for arbitration. But I would like to point out that any such arbitrator, if only by reason of his background and training, would without doubt favor our side of the question.
May I say something? Certainly. I'm sure we'll all be glad to hear what the commander's views are.
I think perhaps the thing is not going to be too easy. I hear there was some hanky-panky the other night in the little hall. Must put a stop to this sort of thing. Guaranteed to do it myself in a jiffy. So let's have no more shilly-shallying, I say, but set to work, take what we want, and incidentally clean up the town a bit. Could do with it, what? So could the old country. Too much arguing and beefing. Majority and minority nonsense. What we need is a bit of direct action. A few people to give orders and the rest to obey them, what?
Heil Hitler!
Who is that?
Me. I'm sorry, but...
I don't know what you mean. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, I just happened to be here.
You happened to be here? I shan't imagine what you mean. Reginald!
I'm sorry, Mother, but I can explain.
Why? Do you know this young woman?
Yes. She came to see me.
I'm afraid it's my fault. I came this morning on some business.
What business?
My business. I came on business and stayed to lunch, and then he showed me round, and then... Well, then I was just going.
Indeed, and a very good idea, too.
But I'd like to say this first. I heard what you all said. I suppose I shouldn't have listened, but it didn't seem very private. Well, I think you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Don't think you're going to collar that hole, because you won't. We're going to wake the people up here. Do as you like, you know. You've got to consider the people.
Will you kindly leave at once? Reginald, ring for Pelham.
All right, I'm going. I'll see you later, Reggie. Now, don't forget what you promised.
Of course I won't. I mean, yes.
It's their own pet fancy and giving tuppence for anybody else. I was furious, and I told them so.
Quite right, too.
What about young Sir Reginald?
Oh, no harm in him. Not a bad chap, but feeble. Nobody who wasn't feeble put up with the ghastly food they have there. Probably never tasted a cup of tea like this. And he's terrified of his mother, the old war horse. We might be able to make some use of him.
It seems that you found your visit not altogether lacking in interest, and that the young man will do as you ask him.
Well, that's what she went for, didn't she? Now, what's our next move?
I've discussed the whole matter with Mr. Hassock, and he agrees we'll have to make his contract the point on which we'll fight it out. The council have taken too much upon themselves without consulting the people.
But this is a democratic country. Doesn't this council of yours represent the people?
Yes, Professor, but our council's got a bit above itself. They cancelled the license of that hall before any agreement had been reached about what's going to happen to it. If once the people knew that...
That's all right. But it's the old question. How are you going to get at the people?
Mr. Hassock says we must use the hall next Saturday night. It's our last chance. If we can get the people with us, they'll show their feelings. But we must have all the people. A few of the regulars won't do.
It is, as I have so often remarked to my friend Timmy. If the people do not play their part, they do not deserve to have what it is their right to have. Now, you have been much to do with the people, Mr. Largs. What do you say?
Well, now, if we could get at them inside plastics, we might do something. I work there, you know, along with most other people in Dunbury. Once a week, we have parties of visitors to be shown over the place. And if some of you could somehow get in with them and do something startling...
I work there, too. I'd do anything I could tell.
You don't want to be mixed up with this. Before we know where we are, you may lose your job.
No, I think this is where you two come in.
Mr. Largs is right. But whatever you do, it'll have to be something that'll surprise them. Something that might make them think for a change.
Looks like there might be a bit of dirty work at the crossroads, eh?
You and Mr. Hassock seem to have been doing a lot of planning. What is your proposal, Mr. Larg?
Well, I've brought a rough plan of the factory with me. It'll help explain our idea. Now, Mr. Hassick and I thought...
Trust him to figure something out.
Now, here's entrance. Here's lobby. Up there to workshops. I've got everything set. You go with the others, Professor. Have you got the leaflets all right? Good. Timmy and I are going to slip away at next corridor. Mind to get rid of those leaflets before Timmy starts broadcasting.
This way, ladies and gentlemen, please. Right, you'll all keep close to me. We should save a lot of time. There's rather a lot to see today. This way.
Here we are, Joe. This is Mr. Tiverton, who's going to broadcast.
Pleased to meet you.
How do you do? I'd better go and see if the Professor's giving out those leaflets. Joe, explain all the workings here while I'm gone.
Right you are, mate.
See you later.
Now, I fixed the mic up for you.
Joe, have you seen a foreign-looking guy about here? He represents some government or other. I've missed him and the old man's going raving crackers.
I don't know, unless that's the bloke over there.
Excuse me, sir. Are you Dr. Ben Tinker, is it?
I beg your pardon?
The jet from Yugoslavia, sir.
Not Yugoslavia, my friend. Czechoslovakia.
Oh, that's all right, sir. It's the same thing. Would you mind stepping this way, sir? They're waiting for you. Yes, sir. Funny old business. You getting mixed up. We've been chasing one fellow. I've been chasing the other fellow.
Now, if you go across the other building, ladies and gentlemen, you'll find a guide waiting to take you over the research and experimental departments.
Hey, where's that tall chap in black got to? You know him with the beard.
Oh, he got mixed up with this lot somehow. He's a big foreign buyer. They've taken him to the managing director's office.
It is, as you say, all very ingenious. But one thing I do not understand. You speak as if all this activity, this making and selling and buying of articles, were an end in itself, not merely a means to an end. Hmm? Of course, it is good that we should have these things, but it is not of the highest importance. It is not very important at all.
Can't say I agree with you there, Doctor. Can't have a civilization without continually raising the standard of living. Can't raise the standard of living without increasing production and consumption of goods. All seems very simple to me.
But not very simple to me. Civilization is something more than producing and owning things.
All the same, we cannot get away from the fact that we'd be lost without our inventions.
It may be that we shall be lost with our inventions.
Go and turn on the microphone. You'll find it on the left of his desk. You promised to help, didn't you?
What, you want me to do it now?
Yes, now.
I don't see your point, sir.
I have not arrived at it yet.
Don't come here interrupting me this way. What do you want?
But I understood you sent for me to bring you these papers.
Sent for you? Indeed, I did not.
Oh, didn't you? It must have been someone else then.
Get out. Can't you see I'm in conference?
Oh, so you are. I'm sorry, sir.
Now, where were we? Oh, yes, you were Doctor.
Now, among the ends which seem to justify our lower activities is the creation and appreciation of music, to which the selling of bowls and ashtrays must serve only as a means.
I'll explain later.
Music nourishes the mind and the spirit. It is the expression of the struggling deity within us. Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert.
Quite so. But I'm afraid I don't know much about music.
You are quite right to be afraid. Now, here in this town, the people are fortunate enough to possess a large and well-constructed hall of their own, where they can create and enjoy the noble art of music. But I have been told that you wish to take this hall away from them and use it as a means of selling more bowls and more ashtrays.
Just a minute. To start with, the people have stopped using the hall. They're not as keen on music as they used to be.
But why? Because your world, with its clamorous and exacting machines and its organization of mechanical little tasks, is draining away their spirit of initiative, making them passive in their leisure instead of active and creative.
He's on a non-stop trip now.
Now, look here. It's nothing to do with us what the people do in their spare time.
There is not time and then spare time. There is only time.
And we seem to be wasting some of it.
I am sorry to hear that I have been wasting your time, gentlemen, but it will do you no harm to spend a few more minutes learning the truth. At the back of your minds is the old economic heresy that men are primarily producers and consumers and are only human beings in what you call their spare time. You do not believe this of everybody. You believe it of those you employ, but not of those who employ you. The great, the privileged, the wealthy have never seen themselves as part of economic men. But in the world of the mind and the spirit, it is possible for all to be great, privileged, and wealthy. And life on this level is not something to be tolerated, if there happens to be time for it, after the serious business of the world has been done. It is the serious business of the world, this life of beauty, wisdom, and love. And we only make things and buy and sell them in order to sustain that real life. All men know this deep in their hearts. But when those who refuse to listen to what is in their hearts, then men cannot help feeling frustrated and in despair. And in their frustration and despair, they become violent and cruel.
I don't see what all this has got to do with the Yugoslavian government.
It has nothing to do with the Yugoslavian government.
No, but you have.
Certainly not. I have no connection with the Yugoslavian or any other government.
What?
Dr. Bentica.
Ah! Bentica.
You're Dr. Bentica?
Yes, already 2 days have been attempting to find you knitted plaster.
Timov, quick. Switch Timmy on.
One moment, Doctor, please. If this is Dr. Bentica, who the devil are you?
I am the voice of wisdom. And I am now without a home.
Now, you people have just been listening to something worthwhile. And here's a bit more. You know perfectly well that if you don't look after your own interests, no one will do it for you. Now, there's a party trying to get that market hall of yours. And if you let them get away with this, they'll soon be pinching the milk out of your tea. If you take this lying down, they'll soon be making ashtrays out of you. Men and women, if you're with us, and I know you are, come to the little market hall on Saturday night. You know our motto, let the people sing.
And that, gentleman, is the other voice. The voice of the comic, of humour, of the British people. Good afternoon.
Drop it. This is the last warning. This hall is no license for singing and such like.
Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Now then, young woman, be careful.
Sergeant says I'm to be careful.
I warn you.
And I warn you. We took this hall to sell our goods.
And you can sell your goods, but you're not going to sing.
And why not? I thought that was what hall was for.
I'll tell you why not. It's against the law.
Hey, not yet it isn't.
Now, you don't want any trouble. Neither do I. And so that you may clearly understand the position, I've brought Commander Spotter, who's a JP, to say a few words to you. I want to tell you people that I consider the situation very serious. You have been warned, and you are now at the crossroads. I shall have to report this matter to the council. What am I to say to them?
What you like.
We'd better get Hope and the Professor out of here.
Hey, come on, give him one.
Right, here, small one here. Here. Just a minute. Oh.
Where's he taking us?
To the Dog and Bell, Daisy.
Who's Daisy?
You wait and see. A bit of all right.
A bit of what?
All right.
Hello, Daisy. How are you? Daisy Barlow's the name, dear, though I expect it's before your start. My, what a looker. Where'd you find them, Timmy? And Sir Reginald.
I say, it's awfully nice of you to remember me, Mrs. Phelan.
Oh, call me Daisy. You've got more sense than I thought you had. And is this the Professor?
Madam, at your service. I presume, to quote my friend Mr. Tiverton, that you are the bit of all right.
Oh, don't take any notice of him. But if you're as clever as they tell me you are, you're going to be pretty lonely here tonight. But don't worry, I'll take care of you. Oh.
Go. Council have got the wind up all right, but we haven't won yet, not by a long way. Police, except for a few small summonses, won't make a move yet a while. The question as to who should get the all comes up for arbitration.
Arbitration? Whose idea is that?
Old Shipton Thorpe's.
Yeah, he would.
But it might be worse. If the West Dunbury lot, that's really your people, had united with Plastics, we'd have lost the all. But they couldn't agree and there was a deadlock. That's why they proposed arbitration.
All very complicated to me.
The question is, who's going to arbitrate?
Now, wait a minute. I might be able to find out something about that.
Oh, so that's what they think of asking. Suit us very well, Major. Certainly, I think there should be no question about the result. But to make quite sure... Oh, you have taken the load off my mind. Now, don't worry, Major. Goodbye. Oh, hello, Reggie.
Oh, morning, Mother.
Good morning. Oh, now, what was it I wanted you to do for me? Oh, yes, I know. On Thursday, I want you to bring someone over here to lunch. It's really very important. I've just been talking, and I think...
Yes, I heard the whole miserable plot. And to make matters worse, I've got to go and collect this wretched arbitrator man and take him home to lunch, just so the mother can get her say in first.
There. What did I tell you? Talk about a wreck.
Oh, we haven't lost yet. Who is this wretched arbitrator man?
Oh, he's an old die-hard called Sir George Denbury Baxter.
Oh, did you say?
Sir George Denbury Baxter. Why, do you know him?
Do we know him? Prof, do you or do you not recollect a certain Tuesday evening?
Oh, I most certainly do, my friend. But I also remember the morning after. I have never been so treated in this country before. Alas. Now I know our cause is lost.
Don't talk such rot, Prof. Don't you see?
Oh, I see it all too clearly, my friend. He is a man without understanding, without knowledge of the people, without any
Of course we know that. But Only in the morning.
Oh, what is all this? What are you talking about?
Sir George, once we get the old boy happily bottled, he's the most human person on earth. And he's balmy about music.
Of course, my friend. He is right.
You mean to say if he's got a few drinks inside him, he'll be so happy, he'll be on our side?
That's exactly what we do mean.
Yeah, but you forget he's having lunch with my mother. Nobody could feel happy after a lunch like ours, could they, Hope?
No, he's right.
Besides, there isn't a decent drink in the house.
Ah, now, Sir Reginald, that's where you and I come in. Did I hear you say you've got to go and pick up this old geezer?
That's right.
Well, would you put it past us to arrange for him to have lunch here instead of with your mother?
No, don't suppose I would. But why? I don't think I understand.
You don't have to understand any more than this. Now, you lot think out a way to get Sir George to lunch here and leave the rest to me and my boys. We'll fix it.
Well, we got here.
This is the place, eh? Hardly my style, Foxfield. Brand new, Americanized.
Oh, actually, it's quite good, sir. And it'll be quiet now.
Oh, well, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
Oh, no, really, I'm sure you won't find this place at all bad, sir. And I can get the car repaired while we're lunching.
What a place. What a country.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? Are you lunching here?
Of course, I mean, yes, please. Oh, this is Sir George Denbury Baxter. And this, Sir George, is Mrs. Fillins. This is Hope, Miss Allerton, and she owns it.
Owns what?
Oh, the Dog and Bell.
Never heard of it.
Oh, we are honoured, Sir George. And now you're here, I'd like you to see my new cocktail bar. Perhaps a little drink before lunch.
That's the best thing you've set up to now.
It's such a cold, miserable day, isn't it?
Is it?
We're very proud of Jimmy, our barman.
He looks well.
Won't you try one of his specials, Sir George?
Well, if it's a good, short, stiff drink, yes.
We think it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. It'll surprise me if it is. I can't imagine anything being wonderful around these parts. Pretty good. Vodka in it, amongst other things, I should say.
Well, sir, you need more than one before you can even start guessing.
Bacardi, perhaps. Perhaps not.
Nobody ever guesses even the main things in it, but I must say you're doing better than anybody else so far.
An excellent short drink. But I'll get it. I'll get it.
Well?
Excellent. Excellent. What about, I think we ought to insist upon the ladies joining us.
Oh, rather.
What do you say, ladies?
Oh, that is nice of you, Sir George. Come this way, then. There we are. Nice little lunch just for the four of us.
Your hat, sir?
Well, who do you think it is? Oh, hat, yes. Excuse me.
I hope you like oysters, Sir George.
Oysters? Oh, been longing for oysters, stuck there in the country, just waiting for September.
So glad. I ordered them especially.
What's the matter? Toothache? Oil of cloves you need? You know, you're a very sensible little woman. I knew that the moment I set eyes on you. Yes, make lunch like a king on oysters. I'll trouble you for the brown bread, Foxfield.
I'm anxious for you to tell me what you think of some champagne I have here, Sir George. A lot of people tell me it's too dry. And it is dry, I'll admit.
Can't be too dry for me, but I'll let you know what I think of it. Darn good idea of yours, Foxfield, coming here. I didn't trust your judgment, but I was wrong.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'll always admit when I'm wrong. And I've been wrong all over the place. South Africa, Borneo, Fiji. Oh, I was damnably wrong in Fiji. Remind me to tell you about it when we're alone. Is this the champagne you're worried about?
Yes, Sir George. Not too dry?
Certainly not. Dead right. That is, not for everyone, but for the correct taste, perfect. Perfect.
That's not a habit, it's a gift. So?
What's this?
Kidneys in a burnt wine sauce. I hope you're going to like it.
Like it? I've been living on tin tongue and whiskey.
I've one or two liqueur brandies I'd like you to try afterwards, Sir George, if you will.
Madam, my palate is entirely at your disposal.
Oh.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Smooth. You're not laughing at me, are you?
I think you're a great turn.
Turn. That's it, turn. I remember now. The music hall turn. Daisy soubrette. Saucy little puss. Daisy...
Barley.
Daisy Barley. Here's to you, Daisy. Nothing wrong with that, Brandy. Very fond of the old halls I was, you know. Used to spend a lot of time in them. Which reminds me of the most extraordinary thing that happened at my house the other night. Spent a very jolly evening with the Dr. Krudibarker of Vienna, a little comic, Tommy Tupperton. But in the morning, a couple of strange fellows turned up with an obviously fake letter. Of course, the time I'd got through with them, old Crudy and Tupperton had gone. Pity.
You remember me, Sir George?
Of course I remember you. Schubert, Mozart, Dr. Krudibarker of Vienna, and Tommy Tupperton.
No, Timmy Tiverton.
Timmy Tiverton, that's right. No cockles for father, but plenty of roly-poly.
That's right, you got it right.
We were just talking about you. Yes. What are you doing here?
Oh, on a mission, Sir George.
Well, sit down, don't stand up.
Now, if you boys will excuse me.
We are trying to rescue the town of Dunbury. It is a good little town, but the people there have fallen asleep. For instance, they have an old hall which was given them to play music in, and now it may be taken from them. You have heard of that?
Heard of it? I'm here to hold an inquiry about it.
No, really?
Really, of course I've heard nothing about the musical end of it.
No.
Well, there's no good messing about here. Tell me about it on the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everything's ready. Leave any time you like. Oh, Sir George,
I've seen you before.
Oh, thank you very much.
Forget it. A lot of people hanging about, aren't there? What's the matter with them?
Perhaps they are waking out of a long sleep.
We'll soon wake them up. Tell you one thing, I'm going to be thirsty. This thing's liable to go on for hours. Should have brought something with me.
I thought of all that. Here it is. No sooner the word than the blow.
Christmas, what a woman. Oh, come on, better get in.
Here we come. Don't know, seem to know his face.
Looks to me like Father Christmas at the funeral.
Kidneys have upset me, you know.
Excuse me, sir. Has all your party got business inside?
They're all with me. I'm Sir George Denbury Baxter.
We are met here to decide the future of our old market hall, as we have not, in accordance with the law, been able to secure the necessary majority in our borough council meetings. Therefore, in accordance with the law, we are met here to decide by arbitration the decision of the arbitrator to be final. Such arbitrator having been appointed by His Majesty's government, namely Sir George Denbury Baxter. And I hope that you will all keep good order, as there's been enough trouble in town already.
The question which now has to be decided is who is to be allowed the market hall now that it is no longer required for its original use by the citizens of Dunbury. I call upon the first claimants, United Plastics, to state their case.
On behalf of my clients, United Plastics...
What are they?
I was about to explain, sir. United Plastics is a very prosperous company and is easily the largest employer of labor in the district. On behalf of my...
What do they manufacture? Is it that stuff they make the coloured ashtrays and bowls out of?
Yes, sir.
Hate this stuff. Never did like it. Still, I suppose some people do. The company makes money, I suppose?
Oh, yes, sir, yes. I have here the figures of the annual expenditure.
Oh, I didn't come here to diddle around with a lot of figures. Well, what do these people want to do?
It is their desire, sir, to acquire the market hall and use it as a showroom for their products. They're willing to pay a good price to the town for the purchase of the building.
What's the point of it?
Oh, well, I should like to consult with my clients before answering that question, sir.
He's as pickled now as when we first met him.
Well, come on.
Well, it seems, sir, that the policy of the company is to...
What's the town going to do with the money, anyway? Anybody know? Haven't decided yet, eh? I should say you had a very intelligent face.
Oh, yes. Well, you see, we thought Market Hall, so old, you see, and, well, the money and, well, you see, it's all a question.
Yes, I was wrong. Well, come on, get on with it.
By establishing their factory here, my clients are bringing a great deal of money into the town, and...
Yes, made a pretty good thing of it, I'll bet. Don't think much of that for an argument. Never will.
May I...
Speak up, Mr. Mayor, speak up. Don't whisper, it's very annoying. Get up and say it.
Well, I just wanted to say that some of us who have been for many, many years in the service of the borough feel that this offer by United Plastics should receive very careful consideration.
Oh, you do, eh? Well, I'm fed up with United Plastics. So sit down. So shut up. Now, where are the other claimants? Must give everybody a chance. Well, don't stand there scratching yourself. Who are the other claimants?
Major Shiptonthorpe of the museum party.
Oh, where is he? Where is he?
Sir George, I represent the Dunbury Museum Committee. Major Shiptonthorpe.
Shiptonthorpe? Shiptonthorpe? Any relation to Tubby Shiptonthorpe that used to be out in Johor?
My cousin.
Good Lord. You know, he came a nasty cropper, poor old Tubby. No brains, not a glimmer of them. Now, the last time I saw Paul Tubby, you know, he wouldn't leave the little brown girls alone. You fellas think you can do what you like out there, but you can't. You can't do it. All right, let's get on with it.
As I said, Sir George.
Oh, really, Shiptonthorpe, coming here, chatting about your cousin. Now, who's representing these people that want the museum?
I am. I've said so already.
Don't take that tone with me. Please, sir. Please. All right, what are you going to say?
A number of influential residents, headed by Lady Foxfield, have formed a museum committee. Now, this committee urges that the market hall shall be handed over to them so that it can be turned into a museum.
What sort of a museum?
With your permission, I'd like to call on Lady Foxfield to answer that question. Lady Foxfield.
How do you do?
Hello.
Dunbury is a very ancient, historic borough. All of us here are proud of its historical associations. We wish others to be proud of our ancient history.
Why?
Why? Surely it is important to preserve the great traditions of our country.
Here, here.
There is no need to point out to one who has served his king and empire in many parts of the world that these traditions must be observed. A museum will show the people what those traditions are, and therefore will prove a bulwark against dangerous tendencies.
Fiddlesticks. I like dangerous tendencies, and I hate bulwarks. Is my friend Dr. Krudebacher, late of Vienna, still in the company? If he is, will he kindly step forward?
Now's your chance, Prof. Get it off your chest. Let him have it. Go on.
Now, Dr. Krudebacher, you're a man of intellect and learning, and a foreigner that knows something about us. Would you be kind enough to tell us simply and clearly what you think of the great traditions of this country? Now listen, everybody.
The great traditions of this country are these. First, the liberty of the individual. Second, that which goes with liberty, toleration. Third, voluntary public service. Fourth, a very deep love, a poetical love, rooted deep down in the unconscious of England and the English way of life, of the fields and woods, of flowers and birds, of pastimes, and of the poets and the storytellers. Fifth, that which we find everywhere among the common people, humor and irony, and along with these, a profound depth of sentiment. Now you may say that some of these are characteristics and not traditions, but here in Britain, where nothing is clearly defined, characteristics and traditions melt into one another and cannot be separated. That is all, I think. Except to say, as a foreigner, that I love these traditions very much. And that the would be much poorer without them.
Thank you, Dr. Crudybarker. And now you've heard something really worth listening to after all this drivel about plastics, museums, and tubby ships and thought.
One moment, please.
Certainly not, madam. You've had your moment and talked a lot of nonsense. I love our traditions, and I want Dr. Crudybarker to keep on admiring us. But he won't if a lot of old crocks fill the place with junk.
Here.
Really, this is quite...
Don't bully me, madam. Either sit down or leave the building. Nothing wrong with museums in their place, but this town doesn't need a museum. I think all you people are going to sleep. Now, where did music come into this? It came in somewhere.
I really think we ought to adjourn as you're not feeling well.
Not feeling well? I've never felt better in my life. And as for adjourning...
I agree with the town clerk. Under the circumstances, we cannot possibly accept this arbitration.
What are these circumstances you talk about? Who are you, apart from being Tubby Shipton Falk's brother? And we know what that's worth. And how can you refuse to accept an arbitration award that hasn't been offered? And don't fiddle with that piece of paper. Now, music. Where did music come into this?
Well, I'd like to say, sir, that the hall in question was given to the people of Dunbury by my great-grandfather, Sir James Foxfield. And I feel that I'd like to uphold his views and suggest that the hall be retained for the purpose for which it was originally intended. Namely, the making and enjoyment of music in all its forms, until such time as the people themselves feel that they no longer require the hall. I'd like to add, sir, that the people in these parts used to be jolly famous for their music.
Used to be famous? Well, why aren't they still famous?
Oh, well, I think Mr. Largs would be much more fitted to answer that.
I think I once said you were feeble.
Did you?
You want to know why band isn't famous anymore? I think some of the people you heard helped to kill the idea so that they could say nobody wanted the hall anymore. Even town band had to pack up. But now I've just revived it.
You have, eh? Are you the conductor?
Yes, try to be.
Oh, well, now we are getting somewhere. Will you step this way, please?
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Now, what is it you've got, an orchestra?
No, not yet. Just the military combination, brass and woodwind.
Pity. Pity you've no strings, or I'd have come and fiddle for you. Have a drink.
No, thank you, sir. It's not the same, of course, without the string tones, but you'd be surprised what we can do. Rehearsals are in full swing, and now they want to take away our hall. What can we do about it?
What can you do about it? I'll show you it's yours. As far as I'm concerned, it remains yours. Now, my decision is that the market hall must not be used as a museum or a showroom. It must remain the property of the people of Dunbury, so they can sing and play in it. So if the hall is open, keep it open. If it isn't open, see that it's open at once.
Do nothing of the kind.
The hall is closed, and I shall take care that it remains closed.
You're quite right. The whole thing's preposterous.
Here. I say we cannot accept this arbitration.
Sit down. No doubt you've heard that my arbitration in the matter of the market hall has been refused. I came here to do my duty to you people of Dunbury. I was invited, I accepted, and here I am. But I have listened to the biggest lot of bilge I have ever heard in my life.
Let the people sing!
Certainly let the people sing. And by thunder, the people are going to sing. And in that hall before I leave this town. All my party here? Well, rally yourselves. Prepare for action.
We can't have all this noise, Sir George.
Noise? The noise hasn't started yet, but it will. It will. You can't stop the people.
that bag was planted.
I don't care what you've blown up. I want a star comedian for my new show.
New show?
Yes, and you're the chef.
Just a minute, young man, not so fast. From now on, I'm his manager. Isn't it so, Timmy?
Daisy!